Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair ragale, ni hao, chune shumme, washmale, ohaya gonzaimas, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, hi, hugs and hellos, and a very amazing khush amadid alongside previous ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us today. You're watching World This Morning alongside Shazad Khan and Maha Makhdoom. Hello, Maha. How are you? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Shazad. Hello. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm good today. I'm feeling energized. We have wonderful shows lined up for you this week, and we're starting off with a very important one.
Exactly.
So I'm raring to go this week.
Very amazing, and I think I'm ready too as well, because on Friday and Saturday I had a wedding to attend, so I couldn't really catch up on my sleep.
Okay.
But last night what I did was, so I came back early, I went to the wedding, ate food and left.
Okay.
And I think this is what Pakistanis love the most as well when they attend a wedding, that they just want to eat food. So I came back home, slept. But today, Maha, it's 23rd.
My weekend was good, by the way. Thank you for asking. You had a great weekend. Yes, today 23rd.
So today is 23rd of Pinktober.
Yes.
What do what do you get when I say Pinktober?
Breast cancer awareness.
Yes.
It's linked there now because we've done so many shows and all these things, and even growing up, you were constantly seeing these things. So that's how I know.
October, ladies and gentlemen, is an entire month dedicated towards breast awareness as well. Today, that's what we're going to talk about. Yes. And before that, I think we need to move on towards our public service message, and Maha is going to do the honors.
Yes,
let's do it.
Okay, so it is linked with our show today. We are raising awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and today it's about being aware of your self-health. So we've talked about going to doctors. Shazad mentioned last week about, going for a regular checkup to your general physician after every 6 months. But for females, and especially people in their family with a genetic predisposition to cancer, or someone has it in their family, it's more likely you guys will have it. So there are self-examinations. There are doctors you can go to get regular tests. And after a certain age, which varies between 25 to 35, you should be doing daily, monthly self-examinations. You should be going to get your mammogram. There's so many things. So just be aware of your history, what's going on, so that your future and your family don't need to suffer.
Exactly, and even other than that, let's not just be sticking towards the breast cancer awareness as well, because of the fact that health is very vital for us to go around and probably achieve all our goals as well. So ladies and gentlemen, a complete checkup after every 6 months will do the job.
Yeah, I know. So we had to change it because otherwise it's the same public service message. But anyway, so with that, that's wonderful. And, today we have a very important show. We have some wonderful guests in the studio. We will be talking about just a little bit about the month, because it started off, the National Mammography Day started off in 1993, which Bill Clinton started. But ever since then, it's evolved and people have become really aware. And on the global scale, on the global stage, you have 138 million new cases per year and about 458,000 deaths per year because of this. And it is preventable if you catch it early enough, if you know the symptoms and you detect it. But we'll find out everything from our wonderful guests.
And I think, Maha, it makes me very happy and makes me feel privileged as well that being a part of PTV World, this is the 4th time that we are trying to raise awareness about breast cancer as well. So for all those people who are out there, I think this one's going to be for you.
Yeah, because this has no class. It doesn't pick anyone specifically on your background. It's, it's for everyone. So let's find out. All
right. So ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, we've been joined by somebody who's a public health consultant and presently Director General Health, Islamabad region, none other than Dr. Hassan Arooj. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back.
Assalamu alaikum ji, and good morning to everybody.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest whom I'm going to introduce to you right now, I think she's got a very brave soul because of the fact that she is actually a breast cancer survivor, and she fought against the disease and she won. And she's none other than Dr. Maria Catalina Aliende, who's the principal, University College of Islamabad. Hello, how are you? You look slimmer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Love it.
And last but not the least, the guy who's behind this force, and he's the CEO of Pink Ribbon Pakistan, Mr. Umar Aftab. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum ji. Good
morning.
morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. Always very composed and confined. And I kind of read all of your thoughts and quotes when you post on Facebook, because you do not post pictures, you just post quotes.
That's excellent. Okay, so let's start with you, Umar. This month is very important. So tell us, for everyone who may not know, the importance of breast cancer awareness. Pinktober.
Yes, because unfortunately Pakistan has the highest rate of breast cancer in all of Asia. So one
in 9 women is at risk of breast cancer in Pakistan. So, which means that 10.2 million women are at risk of breast cancer in Pakistan, which is larger than the population of even Islamabad. So that big a risk of breast cancer in Pakistan. And every year 90,000 new cases are being diagnosed. 40,000 women die with it every year, and these are just the reported cases. So whereas we feel that this number is much bigger because many women either they would not know that they had breast cancer, or just because of taboo they would not go for treatment. So that's the reason that in Pakistan for last couple of years we run this very extensive pink tuber campaign to raise awareness, because breast cancer is the only cancer which can be diagnosed at the early stage. And if diagnosed at the early stage, chances of survival are more than 90%.
All right.
So that's the whole message for pink tuber.
Okay, that is amazing. And you know, since you saying that there are people who actually even get to know about it, they do not even go for the treatment. But other than that, when we talk about taboo, which we're definitely going to talk in detail, what I want to know now is that, you know, it's been almost 4 years that we have been continuously having you on the show. How do you think things have changed, particularly in the provincial areas?
So in this pink tuber, we are doing lots of awareness programs, and wherever I go, I ask the audience, so how many girls or women they know about early detection, symptoms, and methods of diagnosis and everything. And you'll still be surprised to know that it's not more than 20%.
Still.
And that too in like bigger cities. So, and if we consider it in remote areas like interior Sindh or interior Punjab or Balochistan or KP, it's like worse than this. So still it's a long way to go. We feel that with all this awareness, we have been just able to start a bit of a dialogue on this issue, but it's a long way to go, because still we come across lots of cases where either women they would not go for treatment after finding it out, or they'll just hide it even from the family. So still it's seen as a women's sexuality issue and seen as a big taboo.
Okay, so then let's get talking about this. So Dr. Maria, so let's ask you, you know, you've been here multiple times as well, and you talked about your story and your battle as well. Are you seeing improvements since we've started doing this show? Are we seeing these campaigns and all this dialogue? Is it having an impact on the people that matter the most?
I think so, especially the younger generation. I've been running in the college this Pink Day for a long time, and we gather money, and I always tell them whatever you donate, that I will put the same amount. So we donate every year an amount to the Pink Ribbon, and so we distribute the brochures, and people know, and they ask me, when are we going to do the Pink Day today, this year, when is the day for the Pink Day? So the students are aware about the Pink Day, where they know that we distribute the brochures. So I think in the younger generation, I think this is there's more awareness, and one hopes that they will tell their sisters and mothers. And I think there is some effect. I disagree with Dr. Romer. Yes, there is some effect, definitely in the urban areas. And with people in the urban areas knowing more about it, then even in the villages, there will be more awareness. If you go to Nuri Hospital, for example, they treat these cancer patients, it's full of people. Right, so it means that people are going to the hospitals to get treated. So and they run, and I don't know about Shaukat Hanu, but they run this free October mammography, month. So people go there, and unfortunately, the 10% statistic is true. 10% of the people that go there have been diagnosed. But the most important thing is the message of people like me that are good and doing our normal life, that this thing is curable, and that the only thing is just the early detection, because that's the most important message that has to get through. Early detection means that you can fight it really well.
And when it comes from a survivor, I think it is a source of inspiration to many out there as well. Moving on to Dr. Rooj over here. Now, since you're the DG Health Islamabad region, first of all, I would love to know what probably falls into Islamabad region. Is it just the federal area, or is it the other cities which surround Islamabad as well? And then what is the situation over here? And have you seen a change?
Well, answering to your question, first I would like to congratulate PTV again having a lead in this awareness campaign.
Thank you.
As my two worthy colleagues have said, the two keywords which have come out is early detection and awareness. I think that is the key to success for any public health program which needs prevention. Coming to your question, Islamabad region comprises of ICT, Islamabad Capital Territory, which is urban Islamabad and rural Islamabad. We have 8 tertiary care hospitals, you know very well the big hospitals like Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences, Federal Government Polyclinic, KRL Hospital, etc. And we have a setup of primary healthcare clinics and basic health units and rural health centers, which are divided into urban and rural Islamabad again, comprising of run by Capital Development Authority, the ICT administration, Federal Government administration, and there is a very recent move which is long awaited, that entire healthcare system should come under one umbrella.
That's great.
Because it becomes more integrated approach towards health.
Okay.
And so the situation in Islamabad is that Islamabad has a high literacy rate. We have persons like Ms. Maria, and Omar keeps on visiting Islamabad very often. We have an opportunity in that sense that students, as she already mentioned, take the lead in awareness creation. So when he said that, when she said that I saw lots of patients in Noori Hospital, that itself speaks of statistics, how people are aware. But mind you that those people which she saw are already diagnosed. We are talking of that segment of population which is aware of prevention, which should be aware of prevention. So this is...
Okay. No, so now regarding the situation within Islamabad, you know, the services that are provided, the way that we're reaching out to the rural community or the less literate community, what role is it of the healthcare system or the people within to go and reach out to these communities and say, you know, maybe the ones that aren't so literate, the ones that don't have access to TVs or all these things, this is potential problems, you guys should go to these health centers to get checked out. Do you think these kind of campaigns would work, or are we doing something like that?
Of course. I mean, let me tell you that in the global statistics, the thing which has eradicated like polio, smallpox, that is the awareness campaigns.
Okay.
They have changed the entire scenario in the world. So we learn lessons from there. And we, as you said, that people who are not able to access to television or radio is there. Television is quite accessible now, I think, even in the poor class. But we, in the rural areas, we have a team of an army of lady health workers. Whose basic mandate in terms of reference is to go house to house. They're given 1,000 houses. They know each and every person in that community. And this prevention from cancer, basic from anemia, cancer, pregnancy issues, sexuality issues, all these are part and parcel of their awareness campaign that they are
Okay, wonderful. So let me ask Omar, because I want to talk about this. You mentioned the taboo attached with breast cancer. So over the years, you know, you said it's still prevalent there. So how are we breaking it? Because if the lady health workers as well, they're equipped with this information, is it filtering through into the families as well? Because also, okay, Dr. Maria is saying no. Well, I'll come to you after Umar.
So, you know, one good thing is that according to the statistics of National Health Ministry, there has been 30% increase in patient turnout in breast clinics. So yes, there is a brighter side of this whole awareness program. But still, we come across lots of cases where if a female is diagnosed, we have to counsel her a lot. She would not want to tell to the family members, and even at times we have seen that if she would tell to her family members, they would not go for treatment. We have seen very frequently that they want to hide it. Unfortunately, there are lots of misconceptions in our country. So genetics is only 4% of the overall breast cancer burden. But unfortunately, we have seen that one of the reasons that why they hide it is because they think that maybe her daughters will not get married, or maybe her sisters will not get married. People would say that if this lady has breast cancer, so maybe other women in the family will get it. So and then at times for married women, they think that they would lose their womanhood, and husband might leave them. Whereas with new advancements in surgery now, we don't even need to remove the breast. It can be done in a very different way. And that's the whole idea of early detection, that if it's diagnosed at the very early stage, it might be just a simple surgery, just removing that lump or that small part, and reconstruction as well of the breast. So things have really changed, but somehow the way we see towards women's health, and then those issues which are related to women's sexuality, those are still unfortunately a taboo.
Okay.
Right, we'll definitely work on that, but Dr. Mary wanted to say something.
Well, I think in this awareness, I think the people to people, and I think there is a lot to be done in that area, because women, when they see successful patients, that is really important. So in my area, I live in a rural Islamabad. I have never seen a health worker, except once she gave me some Panadol, I think. So I would love to work in my own area with this. But there's no program at the moment, unfortunately, that goes out and reaches the rural areas of Islamabad, at least, with this breast awareness in October. So I think there's still a lot to be done, even by our public sector organizations, to reach out to these places, because there's still these taboos are there. And to be honest with you, I think, for example, when I say my mother has had cancer, yes, but she is 89 now. So this thing of dying early from cancer is not true. She's been, like you were saying before, very aware about her own health. So that's why she's able to catch whatever problem she can feel. And then she goes to the doctor, and luckily we have good doctors in my own country, and then she has been diagnosed and she's followed the treatment. There's another thing, for example, usually with cancer you have something called chemotherapy.
Yes.
And with chemotherapy, unfortunately, the hair falls down, which is, it is a good thing, by the way. If the hair does not fall down, it means the drug is not making an effect. So I was just going to Nuri in my treatment, and I was asked my doctor, so why some people have still their hair and all my hair is gone? And he told me, it is better that the hair goes, because then it's quite clear that the drug is making an effect. So when you take it like that, even the fact that the hair falls down, it's not a big issue. I had to counsel one of my very close relatives about this, and I told her, look, she told me her reports, and I said, this is not to be cured. She was going and doing DAM and things like that, and I said, no, you have to go to your hospital, you have to get yourself treatment, because even though she knew my experience, had it been good, she was still worried and thinking that she could treat it with DAM, with prayers, and then even then she went through the operation, and then she said, why should I do the chemo? She was worried about her hair, so I told her, cut your hair and make an extension out of it, and then,
That's a great idea.
beautiful long hair she had. She did not listen to me, but I always say that, okay, if your hair is going to fall anyways, just cut it before and keep it to one side and do an extension. And when your hair grows back again, beautiful, by the way, it grows very nicely, then you have an extension that you can wear with your normal hair. So that's like how we should look at these things in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And not be worried about, things like the hair is going to fall.
There can be other solutions too as well, but I want to move on to Dr. Umar over here.
So we'll come to you.
And it's because of the fact that, you said, and obviously I'm going to come back to you, that, we have been fighting polio as well. But unfortunately, we are the last, I think, amongst the last two countries where polio still exists. And immense work has been done on polio campaigns. Now, the question over here is, for example, that, one of my uncles, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now, this was something which I, when asked on inquiring my uncle that, what happened to you, he didn't tell me. So this is the taboo you were talking about. Now, how much time and effort do you think is going to take so that we can completely erase or eradicate breast cancer from our country?
So,
Because we have not been successful in polio as of yet.
So as they say, it takes at least a decade to change the behavior of a society.
So it's only 4 years down the line.
Yeah, so hopefully next 6 years we might be able to change. And unfortunately, if you see the situation in Pakistan, so most of the things are just because the way we think. Because again, if in a country like Pakistan, polio vaccination is done under military supervision, so you can imagine that the situation about breast cancer is much more difficult than that. So, and at times I say that yes, we need lots of surgeons, oncologists, but in Pakistan we need lots of psychologists, because we really need to work on changing the mindset and behavior of our society. Everything starts from here, and somehow unfortunately we make taboo around everything. So we really need to.
Absolutely, very good
let's see
point.
what
Yes,
you have.
I just wanted to add to her point that
Yes.
actually there's a difference between creating awareness and just horrifying someone or creating panic. The positive side of awareness is that there's a statistics that out of 10 nodules in the breast which are diagnosed, 9 are not cancerous. So what does it tell us? That even if there is a small nodule in the breast of a female, she should not be horrified, but she should report to the physician or the doctor. And there is something which is self-examination, self-manual examination, which has actually turned the tide. Because if the ladies are told how to do self-examination and they do it regularly, so there is no need for them to get very much worried and have an access to a doctor. The other point which I was trying to make it that I agree with him, we don't need so many of oncology surgeons or very big hospitals, and even not psychologists. We need social workers. And also we leave every responsibility to the government. Government in any part of the world cannot reach each and every door. We need volunteers. We need people, we need public-private partnerships to reach each and every door. We need a lot of media to be mobilized, not only PTV. And I mean, you have taken a lead, but I think there should be a lot of programs in Urdu.
Absolutely.
Which should create awareness. What are the causative reasons? What are the risk factors?
Having survivors on that
Exactly, having
living
survivors.
examples.
And how would you react to if it is diagnosed? How would you do after the diagnosis and the treatment? What are the types of treatments available? That creates confidence in the society.
Exactly, and I think
Absolutely,
people
very
like
good.
us, Ma, when we go for, for lectures, probably when, they invite you as a guest, I think saying about all of these things will even work, because when we go to the universities, we really tend to stick to the topic. I think moving out of the box is where you tell them that, okay, we're going to tell you something new and this is what it is. I think because word of mouth, I think, is the strongest marketing tool in today's world. But ladies and gentlemen, right now we'll be going for
A short break.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Good?
Morning. Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, today we are observing Pinktober, and we have some wonderful guests in the studio to talk about what's the situation in Pakistan. And you know, it's not great. People aren't aware. There are campaigns being done, but a lot more needs to be done. It's not just one person's responsibility. It's a government, public, social, private, everything. Everyone has to work together in order to make sure that everyone has awareness.
And now moving on towards the private where your responsibility lies, and that's it. That's when Mr. Umar actually told us that, you know, last year he came and he said that we are actually trying, yeah, and it was his brainchild as well, that we want to build a hospital which is specialized for breast cancer as well. So where are we on that point?
So the good news is that in this October we have started the construction.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
we are hoping to start at least some services by March.
Amazing.
And again, you know, we can't leave everything on the government, because you know, we need to, as a citizens of Pakistan, we have, you know, everyone has some responsibility. So Pink Ribbon is a volunteer driven organization, and we mostly work as public private partnership with government. And we on our own, we have started the construction. Pink Ribbon is not a donor funded initiative, so it's all supported by volunteers and local Pakistani people. And we are in this Pinktober, we are running you know, charity drive for the construction of this hospital. And through you, I would urge your viewers to donate
Sure.
to Pink Ribbon. You can donate to Pink Ribbon in almost all the banks in Pakistan. We have online donation available on our website.
Wow.
And just to start with, you can SMS BRICK on 8099, and 20 rupee BRICK will be donated to Pink Ribbon.
Brick.
Wow.
B-R-I-C-K.
On any network.
Yeah, and on 8099. So a brick will be donated to the hospital.
All right, let me do it right now, man. I want to.
Okay,
I want
so
you to
I
do
will
that.
ask the question. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll ask the next question then. Okay, so now before let's talk about the symptoms and the, you know, what people can look out for. What are the things that are causing prevention, basically? What are the things that are right now these days? Because as Omar already mentioned, only 4%, which I made a mistake. I was emphasizing genetics, but in Pakistan it's only about 4% that has a role because of genetics. But what are the other factors these days that are, you know?
Sorry, before you
Causing
answer, am I
girls.
going to get a reply as well?
You've just sent it, but we have got it.
Okay.
Okay, very nice then.
Excellent.
So
I've got
so
a break now.
coming on to the risk factors, actually, there are a couple of risk factors which have come out of the research. That is early menstruation, late menopause, late childbirth, and definitely the inheritance factor, which is percentage is though low, but we cannot ignore that.
Absolutely.
Then there are other factors, there are environmental factors associated with it. But before coming to the environmental, I would say that the personal history is very important. Like if one breast has suffered from a disease, from the breast cancer, there's a likelihood of the other breast as well. Then hormonal therapy, very, very important. Replacement hormonal therapy, as you go close to the menopause, doctors tend to prescribe estrogen and progesterone. That has a very high risk towards producing breast cancer. So you have to be very careful and keep a balance between hormonal therapy and, but that needs a regular checkups definitely, which can always prevent that. Apart from that, apart from the genetic factors, dense breast tissue is one of the risk factor. Then other factors include obesity, not really very good dietary habits, that is less fruits and vegetables and high in saturated food. Then smoking and alcohol, they also play a role in high risk factors of the breast. So a combination of all these factors would make, as far as the symptoms are concerned, I mean, the appearance of a nodule is the alert sign. Okay. Then you have to go. But as I said, every nodule is not cancerous, so don't have to panic, but have to report.
Okay.
Then the change in the size of the breast. Then people say that, I mean, orange peel color of the breast comes in, and and the size of the nipple and texture also changes.
Okay.
So all these, and eczema, sometimes the eczema also appears.
So there's a lot of signs your body is trying to tell you a lot.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, wait, sorry. I just want to ask Omar because during the break you also mentioned about young girls now.
Yeah.
What's happening with that? Because
So that's
it's not
again
genetic,
very
it's not.
unfortunate that internationally the risk of breast cancer is with age. So the higher the age, the more the risk. So internationally, maiden age is like 55 and plus. But unfortunately, in Pakistan, in last 3 years, we are seeing young girls being diagnosed with breast cancer. And when I say young, it's like 18, 20, 22, and that's really alarming. And without any family history. So somehow we think that it's something to do with whatever we are eating, because so 2 3 things we have recently, there are like some small studies in Pakistan done. So for example, the milk we drink, they give steroids to the
Yeah.
animal to get more milk. So those steroids directly affect women's health. Steroids used in chicken production, they directly affect women's health. And the sugar right now in the form we are using,
Plastic, I think.
it's disastrous. It's kind of a fertilizer for cancer cells.
Don't
It's
understand
like
how the sugar
multiplies.
is on the market. I'm too scared to say anything.
So, well, I think this is once again a question for DG Health to inquire, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so that's the thing. So now when you have all of these factors where the quality of the produce that people are paying for, especially the ones that don't have as much disposable income, they have no alternatives. So what are they supposed to do when the quality, like the sugar they're buying, is not up to scratch? The milk is being tampered with, chicken's being played around with. Not everywhere, but how do we kind of nip this in the bud before it gets? I mean, it's already out of control because even one being affected is too much.
I think one thing is they have an alternative. I'll tell you about the alternative. But before coming to that, you must have recently, a couple of years, in the previous couple of years, you must have heard of the food authorities coming into action.
Yes.
And I think that makes the difference in food quality. In Islamabad also, we have launched a project with the UN FAO, in which we're going to analyze the street foods and the food which is being utilized by the common man, not the food from high-fi five-star hotel, but the common
What
man.
about the supermarkets, though?
Yeah, that's right. So the samples will be taken and that will be analyzed for both for biological, chemical analysis, and also, as he mentioned about the hormonal therapy, we have laboratories here. So we having being cognizant of the fact that hormones are being used by these people. And also there's a new food ordinance which is making the punishments and punitive very strict.
Okay, but I think we're going in the wrong direction because yesterday I went through this news and the news was that there were 2 restaurants on motorway which were actually being sealed because of the fact that they weren't serving good food. I think now over here what we're talking about, we need to go and seal all of those factories or probably poultry farms where all of this food is being made because it's not about bad cooking. It's actually about cooking a
produce.
bad meal.
But I'll
Good
just
point.
tell you one thing. If I'm a retailer and if my shop is sealed because of a product, I'm not going to buy that product anymore. So you are right that we have to go to the root cause where they are being produced, but this also produces an indirect effect. If nobody is buying the product from that factory, so that will have an impact on
I
them.
guess
But
if
it's
you-
not going to be a domino effect. That's what I'm saying because quite a lot of people get away with it.
Okay.
So for example, in Punjab, so in Lahore, almost every morning they are destroying 70-80,000 milk, which is not actually a milk. It's produced from chemicals. But I think rather than just destroying
doing
that milk, they need to go back in the supply chain because we really need to stop where the factories they are producing such kind of milk.
Absolutely.
So
Okay, so now this is getting really interesting conversation, but I wanted to ask Dr. Maria before what are your thoughts on all this? The foods that we're eating, the lifestyle, because And then we wanted to ask you quickly before the end, you know, how did you find out? Was it your lifestyle? Like what kind of?
Well, I think there's some of that genetic predisposition, though nobody in my family has had breast cancer before.
Okay.
But I had a dense breast, as he was saying. This is one of the predispositions for, and I had my first baby at 36.
Okay.
So those two of those are there. I was not overweight, but I later on became overweight. And the third thing I did, unfortunately, I was very aware about the hormone replacement therapy, so I never did that. But my doctor recommended me something called olive primrose, which is supposed to be very good and natural and whatnot. And I took that, and it really helped in my menopause. But I have to say that maybe it was the wrong thing to take. Now, I don't think doctors, and they still recommend this so-called alternative medicine, natural medicine. How many have done the research about the oil of primrose and breast cancer? I have no idea, but I did take that, so I blame that. But I had been having mammography since I was in my 30s because of the dense breast. Then with the babies and all that, they sort of went away, those nodules. Then they came back. So I was having regular mammographies. And my last mammography before the cancerous one was in 2006. Then the doctor wrote every year. And I did not do it in 2007, but I went in 2008 and I did it. And it was a regular thing. I was very shocked when they called me back.
Okay.
That there is something not quite right. So it was, even though I had been doing these regular mammographies, it's always a shock when they call you back.
But that's why you're still here, right?
Yes.
So that you can share. But one last thing which I would love to ask from Mr. Umar, and that is that this specialized hospital which you're constructing with the help of the private partnership with the society as well, and then with the government. Now, what I want to ask over here is, are you looking for women in colleges?
Of course, one challenge is that we have very less women radiologists, very less women oncologists, and women, they don't want to go to a male oncologist or a male radiologist, especially for this issue. So
Absolutely.
we really need to urge our female medical students that they need to specialize in these fields. It's so unfortunate that in Pakistan, female oncologists, we can just count them on our fingers. There are like so less number of female oncologists, whereas we have a population of more than 20
And we've got
crore.
10.2 million cases of breast cancer over here in Pakistan.
Potentially,
So
Okay.
I think that's where the doctors might be interested.
Yeah, one last word, as he
Fine,
said, that we have like, when I was a medical student, we had 30 females and maybe 200 males. Now it is the opposite. So I think where our culture and taboos come, we must make it compulsory for the female doctors to involve themselves in such things.
Absolutely.
I mean, as a volunteer, I mean, for everything we don't need a law. The other thing, the last message I would like to give is that it's not one organization's or one person's responsibility. It is the responsibility of the government, the people, philanthropists, commercial organizations, Chamber of Commerce.
Corporate social responsibilities.
Exactly, the students. So let's have a teamwork in this awareness creation, because that will prohibit about 99% of the cases entering into a cancerous stage.
And we are already a part of the team as well. Thank you
Great,
very
thank you
much for
so
being
much.
with
It's
us.
always a pleasure to have you on the show, and I hope you guys took something from the show. We've completely run out of time. We couldn't get last messages from everyone, but if you want any information, do log on to our Facebook fan page,
Which is with the name of World This Morning.
our Twitter page,
World This Morning with RG.
our Daily Motion and YouTube page,
World This Morning.
and the repeat of that.
11
And if you
p.m.
want to donate a break, go to the Pink Ribbon website and donate a break.
Or otherwise, just text message on 8099 and write break. And yeah,
Have
your
a
break
great
will be
day.
there. Good morning.